video will look at the causes of the American Revolution. The four background causes that will be explained in this video are no taxation without representation, the 7 Years' War, trade restrictions, and Enlightenment. The first cause we will look at is Enlightenment. Enlightenment was a movement that occurred throughout Europe in the 17th and 18th centuries, where thinkers favoured science and reason over religion. Some of the leaders of the American Revolution were influenced by Enlightenment. The ideas they took from was freedom of speech, equality, and freedom of press. However, the American colonists didn't have these rights, and as a result, they rebelled for independence. The next cause we will look at is no taxation without representation. This was a slogan of the Sons of Liberty who opposed the Stamp Act. The Stamp Act was passed by the British Parliament on the 22nd of March in 1765, and on November 1st it went into effect. The Stamp Act was a tax, represented by a stamp, requiring all legal documents, wills, newspapers, certificates, and playing cards to be taxed directly without the approval of the colonists. This tax was then used to pay for the British troops stationed in the colonies during the 7 Years' War. The colonists were furious because they didn't see it fit the Parliament in London decided how much tax they had to pay, especially when they had no representative in London. This is where the term no taxation without representation was originated. Our next cause is the 7 Years' War. This was a war fought between France and Britain between 1756 and 1763. Britain had beaten France in that war, and they had sent many soldiers over to fight in America. The British government wanted the colonies to contribute to the cost of the war, stating that it was for their protection. This war also meant that many Americans gained vital military experience, which they could use at a later date. Tensions were very high between Britain and the colonies during the 1750s, and the restrictions put on trade made things a lot worse. Britain wanted a cheap supply of raw materials, and the colonies were a good place to get them, for example cotton. But in addition to this, Britain did not want America as competition for its industries. Then Britain passed the Navigations Acts, which forced colonies to sell some of their products to Britain alone, such as cotton, sugar and tobacco. Essentially, Britain wanted to buy cheap raw material from America, have no competition, and sell it back to them at a price that they dictate. So, we went through the four key causes of the American Revolution. They're the key points you learned today. Number 1, Enlightenment. 2, the 7 Years' War. Number 3, taxation without representation. And number 4, trade restrictions.